Welcome to Our Seniors Radio, a nonprofit dedicated to honoring our seniors by providing relevant information on senior needs. From health, wellness, and lifestyle to residential, medical, and legal, just to name a few. Our seniors and their families are able to make educated decisions and live their best life. Find them online at OurSeniors.org as well. And yes, you can become one of our seniors. Welcome aboard.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Our Seniors Radio. And this is a great opportunity to have a new guest every week and keep our seniors informed, okay? My name is Julian Cantillo. I'm the president and founder of Our Seniors, the whole family. And we're excited this morning. We'll tell you a little bit more about it here in a few minutes. But we want to make an announcement coming up for January, February, and March of 2024. Yeah, the new year is here. We're going to have fundraisers at Red Robin at the Pavilion, okay? January 24th, that's on a Wednesday, February 28th, also on a Wednesday, and March 27th, okay? The fundraisers take place the entire day. All you have to do is show up with an empty belly and just order your food. And before you place the order, just say you're there to support our seniors. And we're excited because Red Robin is actually donating up to 20% of everybody who attends, and actually, does not include certain limitations like you can't have drinks or anything like that. That'll be part of that. You can have drinks, but they're not included in the fundraiser, okay? So I highly encourage you to show up. It's at the Pavilion in Port Orange. Can't miss it. Really close to the movie theater, okay? And by the time you hear this show, the winter 2024 edition will be out, and all the information will be there. And you'll be surprised because as Red Robin is supporting us and partnering up with us, there's going to be coupons in there for Red Robin as well. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a lot of fun for 2024, okay? So we're excited. Keep an eye out, and if you want to get a copy of the magazine for 2024, just give us a call, 386-516-3969, and select the option, and we'll get a hold of you and get all the information, and you can receive the magazine at home just for simple donation, okay? We really appreciate all of you, and let's get started here. We have had Kathy Searle Acevedo here as a guest before, okay, from the Florida Braille and Talking Books Library, and you can listen to part 1. Now we have part 2, and she's here, and we're excited. So, Kathy, please remind our listeners here, tell us a little bit more about your organization and your services, everything you folks offer.
Thank you so much, Julian. We really appreciate the opportunity to be on the show today, and we thank our seniors and applaud the services that you offer to the community. We're proud to be part of your community partners. The Florida Braille and Talking Books Library is a bureau of the Florida Division of Blind Services, which is under the Department of Education, the Florida Department of Education, but we're also part of a cooperating national network with the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled, which is part of the Library of Congress. This is a free service for anyone who cannot read standard print due to any disability at all. It could be a visual impairment or blindness. It could be a reading disability, a cognitive disorder, or it could be a physical disability as well. This service started out in 1931 as a service for people who were blind, and it expanded its services to include any disability that keeps someone from being able to read. We provide books and magazines in Braille and digital format in English, Spanish, and other languages. We have applications available for individuals of all ages in English and Spanish, and we also have applications for institutions who serve eligible individuals, such as it could be rehab centers or assisted living or schools, any institutions that could use the service with their clients. We do provide playback equipment free of charge as a long-term loan. This includes a player and lightweight headphones. The player runs on electrical current or rechargeable smart batteries, and it can be replaced in case of any malfunction. And amplified headphones are also available for persons with hearing loss. For this, a separate application is required because it could cause damage to someone if they did not really need them. Items are delivered prepaid to the U.S. Postal Service. Braille and digital books and magazines may also be downloaded to a USB or a smart device, Android, Apple, and others. Patrons may choose their own books and or have their accounts set to auto-select according to their favorite genres, authors, and narrators. Each patron is assigned a reader advisor, that's a staff member from the library, to assist with orders, account settings, technical issues, etc. And patrons can call during business hours or leave voice mail evenings and weekends. They can also email us at OPAC, that's OPAC, _librarian at dbs.fldoe.org. Materials may be kept up to 45 days, and the service will continue as long as patrons return their items in a timely manner and don't exceed their limit. There's no fines. It's nothing like that. We just want people to have their materials and enjoy them for as long as they need them, and then give them back so other people can enjoy them as well. The public is welcome to schedule visits to tour the library. It's not really a walk-in library like the county library is, but people can make a reservation to come and visit or request a presentation to their agency or business. We do use volunteers. They are mainstay in helping our library to serve its patrons. And at our recording studio, we do produce Florida interest books and magazines recorded by volunteers. Spanish-speaking volunteers, native Spanish speakers, are especially needed to help with materials we're producing in Spanish. Let me just mention also that the Friends of Library Access, Inc. is a registered not-for-profit corporation which supports the library and its volunteers with material resources through public awareness promotion and advocacy. For them, you can find them at www.friendsoflibraryaccess.org. And for more information about the library, you can contact us. You could reach me. That's Kathy.Acevedo, Acevedo, at dbs.fldoe.org. Or you can call us at the library. The toll-free number is 800-226-6075. Again, that's 1-800-226-6075 to request more information or applications for service. You could also visit our website. Actually, we have two of them. The Division of Blind Services website is dbs.fldoe.org/library. And the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled under the Library of Congress is http://www.loc.gov/NLS. I think you'll find it'll pop right up for you if you even just put NLS in there. So, and Talking Books Library would also probably find us. So I wonder if you have any questions for me, Julian?
Wow, that's a lot of information, and I'm glad you gave out the phone numbers and everything so folks can reach out if they feel they know someone or have someone in the family that needs those types of services. So we definitely want to get that information out to them. And, we've covered a lot of material. I think it's time to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Did you know that Metro Health clinics are dedicated primary care clinics for seniors? Metro Health treats senior patients with state-of-the-art technology and old-fashioned listen to the patient understanding. Call us now for a no-obligation tour. Interview our staff, ask questions, and learn more about Metro Health's team by calling 386-467-4430. We love and support OurSeniors Radio and Magazine. Yes, you can become one of our seniors.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to OurSeniors Radio. And again, we have with us Kathy Acevedo. We noticed, that you brought with you 2 guests today, but one that actually has a microphone and the other one who's being very nice right now. But go ahead, introduce us to your guests.
I'd love to, Julian, and thank you. Let me introduce Mary Tyson, my friend and colleague. I'm so glad you could join us today, Mary, with Jake. Jake, the Labrador Retriever.
Good morning, and thank you for having us. And you may wish for Jake to speak, or you think you do, but you'd really rather he not.
Well, let me just tell you very quickly that Mary is a community leader. She's well known for her disability advocacy efforts throughout the local area and also statewide. She's currently secretary of the Florida Council of the Blind, and she's a previous secretary of the Daytona Halifax Area Lions Club. She's been involved in testing and training for the use of accessible voting machines. You may not know it, but Volusia County is one of only 5 Florida counties currently piloting them in the state. She's on the Board of the Board of Directors of Disability Solutions, Inc., among many other organizations she supports. In 2016, Mary retired from the Volusia County Daytona Beach International Airport after 38 years of service, and she currently works with us at the library. As a lifelong library user, she acts, among other things, as a tech advisor to staff and other patrons regarding our state-of-the-art equipment, and coaches us as we go along. When we're currently introducing yet another wave of new technology, and she's been helping us with that. She's sort of like a tech advisor, and she's here today to share a little bit about these experiences with our listeners. And Jake, of course, will assist if necessary.
Well, I'm hoping that I don't need Jake's assistance for a little bit. He seems to be napping nicely. So thanks for having me. And I have been a library user since I was approximately 5 years old. I am well past that now. We will not be specific. But my mother was an educator, and she wanted me to have as good an education as her other 4 children, and she knew I needed to learn Braille, so she learned Braille so she could teach it to me. And my grandmother, even, who was also an educator, she learned Braille so that she could coach me too. So by the time I went to school at the age of 6, I was able to read like a first grader can read, but I could read Braille. And I went to the Florida School for the Blood, Deaf, and the Blind up in St. Augustine, and I went there for my entire elementary and secondary education. Then I went to Florida State University, and but back to the reading, which is why we're really talking here. I learned to read early, and my family are all readers. You could walk in our house and find all 6 or 7 of us at a time reading, so that wasn't uncommon. I love to read Braille. Braille is kind of bulky, and I know probably most of you do not read Braille, and that's certainly understandable. That's how I just learned to read, just like you learned to read print. But the Braille is fun to read. I love to read it, but it's very, very bulky. I have a Braille book laying here next to me, and obviously you can't see it, but it's probably about 4 inches thick, and it's a one volume book, and it's bigger than a regular print book. Some of you may have seen them before. So it's not really very usable on a day-to-day basis. You can't just like stick it in your pocket and take it to the beach or something, or we ride the bus a lot. So, you could carry it with you, but it's kind of bulky and awkward. But Braille is necessary and useful and will always be. But so in conjunction with the Braille reading, I also listen to books on the talking book side of things, which I also enjoy very much. I do a lot of that because I can download those to my iPhone or a digital device. You can download them onto a cartridge, and like a USB type cartridge, and plug it into the player that is provided by the library, and you can listen to any book you choose that way. You can do it for yourself. You don't have to wait to have it sent to you. Now we've progressed to the point where we are going to have electronic readers that download Braille books. So I can still read Braille, but it's downloadable like over your Wi-Fi. It's astounding. And I love that very much because I actually get to read the Braille that I love. But it's very portable. I can just stick it in my purse and carry it with me at all times. So we are working on those. I have purchased one personally, but the library will be sending some of those out in the months to come. So people who are Braille readers and would like to continue to read Braille in a very simple and very convenient manner will be able to do so.
Mary, thank you so much. We're gonna stop right there for just a second, and then we'll take up where you left off. We'd like to hear a little bit more about that.
And we'll be right back.
OurSeniors.net provides reliable and accurate information to serve the seniors of Florida. No matter what kind of assistance you need, from home repair to finances to buying or selling a home or considering assisted living, our team is here to help you. Our carefully chosen vendors meet our exceptionally high standards and adhere to the OurSeniors.net Code of Ethics. Want a magazine in your hands? Visit OurSeniors.net or call 386-516-3969.
All righty. Welcome back, folks. Thank you. Well, and as we continue here, we have Kathy Acevedo, or Kathy Searle Acevedo from Florida Braille, okay, and Talking Book Library, and the other guest, Mary Tyson, and of course, Jake, okay? And we're learning so much from someone who's actually using the services, okay? And giving a testimony as to how they use it, when they use it, etc. So Mary, continue, please tell us.
Well, I have so many things I could tell you, so if you need to redirect me, feel free. I will never be offended because I can go on a tangent. But I would like to say, well, how much obviously I enjoyed the library because A, I've been using it forever, and B, I now work there, which is good. But I would recommend the service. I'm very, very surprised because one of the things I do at my work is I answer phones a lot. And very often I talk to people who say that they didn't know that this existed. And because I've used it since I was a child, I am constantly astounded. I think everybody should know. So I really do think everybody should know. So I want everybody to tell everybody. And I want everyone to, if you think you need the service, if you are interested, we want you to avail yourself of it. Some people who were avid readers throughout their lives and they begin to lose their vision or have other issues, they might suffer a stroke or something that doesn't allow them to hold a book or turn a page, whatever it might be. And all of a sudden they can't read anymore, and maybe they are not interested in television or something of that to that effect. So many times I've talked to people who are so grateful to have reading back in their lives. So if you don't need it, talk about it, because you might reach someone else who does. And it's not just because I work at the library, because I've only worked there for a few months, but it's because I've used it forever, and it's just been such a blessing to me. And I use the Braille downloads and the audio downloads. I use just about every service they provide. I have a player that they provide, and I purchased a player for portability's sake, because that was long before I could actually download them onto my phone. But you can download them onto an iPad or a tablet, many types. You have to have what's called a BARD account, like the great Bard, William Shakespeare, but it stands for Braille and Audio Reading Download. And so you can, you have to apply for that, but it's after you're a patron at the library and you indicate that's what you'd like, then you are certainly encouraged to do so. We'd be more than happy to help you get that underway. So don't hesitate to call us or go to the website, although those websites are just so difficult to remember. They're so long. Anytime you get a government website, they're really long. So I personally try to use the phone when I can because that's just my own personal preference. But however you can reach us. We're looking forward to meeting you all. So, Julian, did you have any specific questions for me?
Yeah, and pertaining to, you brought up an interesting point, because obviously technology has advanced tremendously, but you still have, children, as they're growing up, they have vision issues, and it may get worse. And this is important that word gets out to parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, so that they know that these services are out there and they can be used, okay?
Excuse me, Julian, if I may, I'd like to also add that children and people of all ages, it's not just vision problems. There's other things that can happen. Suppose that my child was on the autism spectrum and is not able to learn to read. It could be a cognitive disorder. It could be a physical disability. I have a friend who's in a wheelchair with cerebral palsy, and he listens to the books all the time, but he can't really handle the book. So he's qualified for the Talking Books Library. So we just want to make sure that everybody knows that any disability that's keeping you from reading standard print may qualify you for the library's free services, and they are free. That's another thing that's important to remember. This is our tax dollar doing something really fabulous.
Great, and I'm glad you brought that point up, because you're absolutely correct. The disability can occur at any time. Somebody all of a sudden can have a stroke, and boom, they need assistance right there. So, but Mary, going back to your history, when you started, reading Braille, the whole 9 yards, what, out of all the services that they offer, what services do you use the most and like the most?
That's really hard to say, but I'm really excited about the ability to choose and download my own books. That, to me, that's amazing. So I'm a really big fan of the BARD app and the BARD program. I think that might be my favorite thing. One of my favorite things about working at the library is that I get to come and do things like this. I love outreach, and I'm very pleased that I was invited, and I'm grateful for that. I like to go to schools and talk to children who maybe none of them have a disability, but it gives them some exposure to somebody who does things differently than they do. I've been to a couple of schools. One was preschool. It wasn't a school. It was at the library over the summer. They were having a program. And I went and I read them a book in Braille that also has print. So blind parents can read with their sighted children, or vice versa, if you have sighted parents and blind children. We used to, when I was growing up, we called them twin vision books. They're Braille and print. And I read a book about a lady, a true story about a lady with a guide dog. Well, they were very excited about that because I had just come home with Jake. And so I had him with me. And so they could kind of see how the story went. That there are people that have guide dogs, and there are people that are blind who can read and share their stories. And I find the children often to be very, very, very insightful and they ask most amazing questions, and I love that so much. So that's one of the things that I enjoy doing, and I kind of took this as a moment of personal privilege to point that out. Excellent.
And that's perfect timing to take a little short break, and we'll be right back.
Metro Health Primary Care Clinics specialize in meeting senior health needs. Metro Health's Ormond Beach and Holly Hill locations invite seniors and caregivers to explore their services with no obligation. Learn more about our primary care physicians in Ormond Beach and Holly Hill offices by calling 386-467-4430 to meet our team. We love and support OurSeniors Radio and magazine. Yes, you can become one of our seniors.
Hey everyone, welcome back to OurSeniors Radio. And again, we'd love for you to stay tuned to all of our podcasts and all of our radio shows. If you missed a show on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m., you can listen to it on our website or YouTube, okay? And before we call it a day, Kathy, give us an overview of your program again, how people can make contact with you, etc.
Thanks so much, Julian. I'll be quick on this. Basically, the Florida Braille and Talking Books Library is a free service for anyone who cannot read standard print due to any disability, and that includes visual impairment or blindness, a reading disability or cognitive disorder, or a physical disability. And for more information, you can always call us. The number is 1-800-226-6075. That's 800-226-6075. Or you can Google Florida Division of Blind Services and look for us in their drop-down menu, listed as Library. You can also find out more information on the Library of Congress website. If you Google NLS, that stands for National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled. And with that, I think I'd like to close by passing over the microphone to Mary. And I wanted to ask you a question, Mary, that I think you could, I get this question a lot. People wonder why, if there's audiobooks available, why anybody bothers to learn Braille. Why would they, what would you say to that question?
Well, Braille is very useful in so many ways. Look at elevators. There's Braille on elevators and hotel room doors, and believe me, you want to get the right doors. Also, personally, I prefer, or I enjoy reading Braille because I can actually see, even though I'm seeing with my fingers, I can see the spelling, and I can see the words and how a name is written. You don't get that from the audio, and you might, I come from that family of educators that'll follow me everywhere, and I want to learn how to spell things and say things correctly and not just hear them and repeat them. I want to be able to spell them. So, and I write things a lot, so I want to make sure I'm writing things correctly. And people spell their names all kinds of different ways, so if you, even just for personal names. So there are so many reasons, but Braille will be with us forever. And Braille, you know, it's good to take notes in Braille. So, you know, if anybody ever has questions or just curiosities, call us up. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And thanks for having me today.
Thanks so much, Mary.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And please, folks, these are free services that are offered by the state of Florida. And make note of the phone numbers and all the information that was given out. And if you need any additional information, you can find more information on our website on OurSeniors.net. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Our Seniors Radio. Don't forget to check out OurSeniors.net magazine and tune in every Saturday at 8 a.m. on WNDB. Help support the nonprofit, which is OurSeniors.org, or call 800-647-0868.